What's up everyone, it's Diana. Welcome back for another vlog here in my YouTube channel. We're going to do a vlog that is close to my heart, which is safe transitioning. Safe transitioning with Diane. If you're planning to transition, this video will help you so much. Ano pa ang ginagawa natin? Let's go! So yeah, kagaya po na narinig ninyo, our vlog for today is safe transitioning from male to female. You know what guys, I started transitioning from male to female at the age of 25. That was 2015. And at that time, I was not really sure about doing transition because I have no knowledge at all. Nagsimula kasi ang lahat nung bata ako. I think I was 3 years old. Tapos naalala ko noon sa probinsya namin. May nagsasayaw ng mga group ng mga teenagers na babae. Kasi pag malapit na ang Pasko sa probinsya kasi namin, merong tinatawag na pastores. I don't know how you call it in a modern time. Pero that was really surreal with me kasi that was the time that I was copying all their dances. At the age of 3, oh my God, can you imagine that a 3-year-old boy like dancing, like copying every dance step that they're doing? So at that time, my mother and my father were actually confused about, lalaki ba siya? Bakla ba siya? Those are the questions I think that was, you know, getting to their head. And talagang naisip ko na talaga at that time nung I think I was 7 or 12 years old. Talagang medyo alanganin ako. Hindi ako lalaki, hindi rin ako babae, diba? Ang pagiging transgender or being in an LGBT community, hindi naman kasi siya choice talaga. Pinanganak ka na ganun. Wala kang kailangang gawin para mabago yun. Kasi usually naman pag pinanganak talaga tayo, ang lagi sinasabi ng doktor talaga is, congratulations, may anak ka na lalaki. Congratulations, may anak ka na babae. You have a daughter, you have a son. Pero all of a sudden, growing up, diba, nagbabago ang lahat. Kaya medyo confused talaga ang mga bagets ngayon. Well, in this generation, which is yung mga Gen Z natin talaga, they are more open, and our community here in the Philippines is more open, though we are not yet accepted. We are just being tolerated. But of course, one thing is for sure, we're getting there. I don't know how long will it take to get accepted here in the community here in the Philippines, but I am very much happy of what is happening right now with the LGBT community. Discrimination, you know, gender identity, those are the things that you have to consider if you want to really transitioning from male to female or female to male. Ito kasi sa Philippines, limited lang talaga ang knowledge natin about transgender. So yun lang talaga yung pag-uusapan natin for today. I decided to transition myself at the age of 25. At that time, wala pa akong boyfriend. Tapos, this one encounter with transgender who was doing shopping at Gateway Mall. I don't know if they will, you know, watch this video. Start. 2015 when I decided really to transition from male to female. And at that time, I don't have any knowledge about transitioning. I was Googling on how to transition. There are, of course, self-medicating, which is not really recommendable. For me, I think it's better to have, get it checked with the endocrinologist. I'm just very lucky that I have a company that gives a benefit for medical benefit, which is health card. Medicard po yung health card ko. And then it was accredited in VRP or Victor Potenciano Hospital here in EDSA Mandaluyong. So if you want to know who is my endocrinologist, I will message it to you. Please message me in Instagram or in Facebook. The same name. Also include in my description the location of the hospital. So you can just, you know, go there, have check-up, and yeah, you're good to go. Okay, let's start. Nagsimula talaga ito noong 2015, and then at the time, I was self-medicating. Guys, I was self-medicating for 7 years. Imagine that. And then, it came into my mind that I was really wanted to transition safely, but I was just lazy. Huwag niyo po akong tularan pagdating sa self-medicating kasi hindi talaga siya safe. You know? And then, I think it was last week, tapos Ang nangyari kasi, nagkaroon ako ng back pain. Tapos, yung back pain na yun, parang medyo naalala ko, oh my God, baka dahil to sa pagka-transition ko, dahil to sa hormones, or di ko alam kung ano yung, alam mo yun, yung reason, bakit sumasakit yung likod ko. Medyo na-worried talaga ako kasi, maybe this is it? Mamamatay na ba ako? May sakit na ba ako? Do I have time to live? Those are the things that was really into my mind. So I decided, instant yon. Talagang kailangan ko magpa-check up. I went to my app. Medicard has an app in your phone. You can download it. If you have Medicard, health card, sa mga sister natin dyan, na mga transgender, so much better talaga magpa-check kayo. Ngayon, ikikwento ko talaga yung aking story about transitioning safely. So at that time, so na-feel ko na talaga medyo masakit yung likod ko. Tapos, medyo hesitant ako sabihin sa jowa ko na may back pain ako, baka ito yung kakainom ko ng mga pills. Yes, I'm taking Diane 35 pills. And at the same time, I'm also doing an injectable, which is Progenon Brown and Proloton Germany. So those are my hormones. Okay, so at that time then, I don't know, kasi baka nag-overdose din. Kasi, kagaya na sinabi ko po sa inyo, wala akong knowledge. 'Di ba? Minsan kasi talaga tinatamaan lang talaga tayo ng katamaran. Yung tipong may pera naman tayo or meron naman tayong mga resources pero tamad talaga tayo magpa-check up. Yun, isa din siguro yun. Or natatakot lang tayo, baka malaman natin na may mga cholesterol, alam mo yun, may mga diabetes na pala tayo. Pero you know what, you have to overcome your fears and you have to check yourself. Whatever happens to your body, it's your obligation. Alam niyo yun? Kung may sakit ka man or may nararamdaman ka sa katawan mo dahil sa kagagawan mo yun. Medyo harsh ba yung pagkasabi ko? Pero totoo naman talaga yun. Real talk lang tayo. I think that's the reason why marami tayong mga trans sisters na maaga silang kinukuha ng Panginoon. Kasi yung lack of knowledge, di ba? Going to actually show you dito lang sa screen ko ano yung mga test na ginawa sa akin before ako bigyan ng right dosage of hormones and male blocker. So kagaya na sinabi ko sa inyo, nakaramdam talaga ako ng back pain. Talagang yun malala talaga dahil kasi hindi na ang bakla makakilos ng maayos. Parang ano bang nangyayari sa akin? So it came up to my mind na kailangan ko talaga magpa-check up. Friday that time, and then Saturday, okay, kailangan ko na magpa-check up. Usually, itong endocrinologist ko talaga, kailangan magpa-appointment ka sa kanila before ka i-manage. Pero pwede ka naman mag-walk-in. It just so happened na at time talaga nung nag-walk-in ako, wala na silang mga patients. So, wala na silang choice kung hindi i-accommodate talaga ako sa VRP or Victor Potenciano Hospital. Punta muna kayo dyan, and then, of course, kailangan kasi may doctor na kayo. So, halimbawa, ako, si Dr. Ganyan. So, hanapin nila yon, internal medicine endocrinologist. Check nila kung accredited nila. Pag accredited, mas maganda. Yun, consultation na kayo. So, may bibigay sa inyo kasing letter of acceptance, LOA, LOA, letter of guarantee. Basta LOA yung tawag sa kanya. And then, may pipirmahan lang kayo na signature doon sa papel na yon. Tapos, ibibigay nyo na siya doon sa parang receptionist ng doktor. So, ipupunta nyo para siyang clinic talaga na cubicle. And then, pagkapasok nyo doon, ibibigay nyo yung LOA doon sa mismong receptionist. And then, ang gagawin niya is tanungin ka kung may record ka na ba sa kanila. Pag wala, you know, you have to be honest. So, pag sinabing wala, hindi wala. Para bigyan ka nila ng papel para ilagay mo doon yung basic information mo such as name, address, birthday, and then contact number, email. After that, kukunan ka ng BP or blood pressure. After naman ng blood pressure, i-weigh ka nila kung ilang kilos ka ba. Okay. So, after that, palalabasin ka muna, mag-antay ka muna sa labas. And then, that's the time na magkakaroon na ng consultation with your endocrinologist. So, tatanungin ka ng endocrinologist mo kung ano ba yung gusto mo. So, I was saying na I want to transition safely. You have to be honest kung ilang years ka na ba nagsiself-medicate doon sa doctor mo. By the way, my doctor is very kind, very sweet, very calm, but direct to the point siya magsalita. Very accommodating, wala kang masasabi. Super, soft spoken, and then, chinek niya yung buging ko. And then, itatanong din niya. And then, itatanong din niya kung do you had undergone, like, post-op, any surgeries from top to bottom. So, those are the questions. Yun lang naman. And after that, gagawan ka na niya ng mga test sa blood test mo. Guys, pasensya na putol yung video. Hinanap ko pa kasi yung mga pinagawa sa akin. Okay, let's start. Number 1 is yung CBC, complete blood count. Pangalawa, yung creatinine serum or kung gaano nga ba kalinis yung dugo mo. Doon kasi natin i-base kung talagang anong level na yung creatinine mo. And then yung pangatlo is FBS, so fasting blood sugar. Before ka kasi mag-lab test, kailangan mag-fasting. And then ALT, SGPT, aminotransferase. Ayun, di ko alam kung ano yun. Lipids and profile, LDL, HDL, triglycerides, total cholesterol, VLDL. Yun. And then uric acid, urinalysis, estradiol, and testosterone. So nakalagay dito may remarks which is please do total testosterone, fasting for 8 to 10 hours. Please do 8 AM extraction diagnosis, metabolic syndrome, RO diabetes, or hypogonadism. So yun yung mga test. Ipa-flash ko na lang dito kung ano yung mga test na ginawa sa akin. So basically, before po ako magpa-lab test, syempre nag-Google din tayo, nag-YouTube tayo kung ano nga ba ang mga kailangan i-test before ka mag-undergo ng HRT or hormone replacement therapy. So number 1 is of course yung sugar level mo kung may diabetes ka pa, yung blood test mo, and then yung total blood count, hemoglobin, yung mga cholesterol level kung meron ka. So yun yung mga iti-test nila. But don't worry, very, naman siya, huwag kayong matakot ha. Ang blood test talaga is, kailangan nyo to before you do your transitioning. And then, of course, number 1 is urinalysis, kung gaano ba ka-healthy yung kidney mo. If it's ready for transitioning or accepting medicine, kasi talagang dalawang iinumin mo. It's like a maintenance for transgenders. As transgender, ito yung talagang maintenance natin to sustain yung testosterone level natin medyo bumaba at yung estrogen natin yung medyo mas madami. Kasi nga, bioidentical estrogen, so kailangan ng katawan natin to para mag-transition tayo. You know what, I'm very thankful kasi nag-pray talaga ako before ako pumunta talaga dun sa hospital to get my result. Nagdasal ako na, Lord, gusto ko po talaga na yung level ng creatinine ko is, alam mo yun, normal level, hindi siya mataas. Pero thank God talaga, dininig yung panalangin ko na maging normal lahat ng mga lab test ko, which is good. God is good. God is great. Itetest nila yung testosterone level mo. Talaga yung testosterone count, kailangan nilang malaman yun. And then kung ano yung level ng estrogen mo sa katawan. So I've been transitioning for 7 years. And then, ito yung combo ko talaga. Progenon Brown and Prolaton Germinal. Yan talaga yung hormones ko. At nagdadayan pills din ako, which is not recommended, guys. So, kagaya ng sinabi ko sa inyo, huwag kayo magsa-self-medicate kung kaya nyo naman. Pag-ipunan nyo before kayo mag-transition. And then kung iinom kayo ng pills, guys, isa lang talaga siya, ha? Huwag nyo yung damihan. Hindi ibig sabihin na isang lagok mo, magiging babae ka na kinabukasan. This is a long journey of transitioning. It will take around 3 months and 6 months kung bago pa lang talaga nag-transition to see the effect. Hindi talaga siya instant, guys. Para ka nag-weight loss na kung nag-diet ka ngayon, bukas mababawasan ka ng timbang. Hindi siya ganun, guys. It's a lifelong journey of transitioning. So, I really recommend for you to get checked. By the way, lahat ng lab test ko is covered naman ng health card ko, which is yung Medicard. Nag-total siya ng around mga 3,500 pesos. Lahat-lahat na yun, from blood, urinalysis, and then testosterone. So, lahat ng yun, wala akong ginastos. Pati yun sa consultation with the doctor, wala po akong ginastos doon. Thank you BPI AIA. I think MaxiCare covered din sila. I'm not sure about IntelliCare and other health card kung covered sila, pero ayun ang masasabi ko sa inyo guys, kailangan nyo talaga mag-transition ng safely. So I also had a friend na the same as me, nag-self-medicate din siya, and then thank you na lang talaga sa mga TikTok influencers, sila Daisy Dulay and Heart Imotera. Guys, makinig kayo sa mga TikTok videos nila. Talagang very helpful yun. Lalo na sa pagka-transition. Kagaya na sinabi ni Heart Imotera, number 1, you have to take the pill once a day lang. Huwag kayong magdadalawa, tatatlo. Hindi big sabihin na tatlo yung ininom mo, mag-i-effect agad siya. Kawawa naman yung kidney mo. Guys, alam ko medyo biro yung sinasabi natin na die beautiful or whatever. Pero kailangan mo din i-consider yung health mo. Yung health, yung dugo mo. Actually, nung before ako magkaroon ng lab test, sinanong din ako ng doctor ko if sa family ba may mga critical illnesses such as yung mga stroke, heart attack, or cancer, or mataas yung sugar and cholesterol. So, yung tinanong din yun. So, I was very honest with her na yung sa father and mother side ko, may stroke sila na critical illness. And then, doon, tinest din ako with regards to my sugar level. So, normal naman yung lahat. Kasi I'm very active with exercise. Personal trainer din naman yung partner ko. Kaya, maganda siya. Diet din. I think sa mga Filipinos talaga, likas na talaga sa atin. We were born na kumakain talaga ng rice, sugar, every morning, di ba? Yun naman talaga yung ating routine. Pero what I'm trying to say is, kung kaya nyong i-less, di ba? Or i-shift nyo na agad. Kung nagre-rice kayo, usually talaga, sugar makes you hungry. That's number 1. Kaya, kung kaya nyo naman na medyo mag-less ng sugar or do any types of diet, intermittent fasting, ketogenic diet, 1 meal a day, yun yung mga magagandang type ng yun yung magagandang type ng diet. So, pili lang kayo kung ano sa tingin nyo yung effective sa inyo. Low carb diet, diba? For me, I'm doing a 1 meal a day and ketogenic diet. So, ketogenic diet is more on fat, less ng protein at no carbs. Yun yung diet ko today. And then, mabilis ka din mag-lose ng weight. Kasi nga, yung katawan mo, lalo na pag nag-intermittent fasting ka, tinutunaw kasi niya yung fats mo sa katawan para maging energy. So yun, kaya nag-lose ng weight yung ibang mga tao. So it's better to have a very active lifestyle and also continue to do diet and exercise, yung mga lakad, jogging. Alam mo yun, wala namang masama sa mga ganun. Yun yung pinakamadaling exercise, yung maglalakad-lakad ka lang every morning. I know na medyo likas sa mga Filipinos talaga yung tamad. Yung mas nanaising pa talagang nakahilata lang sa gabi. You know what? I discovered na para hindi ka tamarin at mag-exercise ka kinabukasan, dapat matulog ka ng maaga. For me, natutulog ako ng 9 and 10 p.m. And then nagigising ako ng 5:30 or 6. Mag-start na ako nun mag-prepare para sa jogging, sa exercise, ganun. Yun ang ginagawa ko para hindi ako tamarin. And then, huwag ka masyadong iinom ng tubig sa gabi para hindi ka naiihi. Kasi medyo, di ba, aminin na natin yan, pag umiinom tayo ng tubig sa gabi, after 1 hour, after 2 hours, maiihi ka. So medyo yung pattern ng sleep mo, hindi talaga siya magiging maganda. Kaya, minom ka na, alam mo yun, 6, 7, 8 in the evening. So, inom ka na para tuloy-tuloy yung tulog mo. Mas maganda kasi mas marami kang tulog kaysa mas marami kang gising, guys. You need sleep. You need your internal organs to rest para effective yung transitioning mo. And then, lahat kung nagiinom ka ng vitamins, mas maganda. Ito yung HRT na na-recommend ng endocrinologist ko sa akin. Number 1, for my estradiol valerate, which is Progenova, that's 2 mg tablet. So, once a day lang siya. And then, yung anti-testosterone ko naman or male blocker is spironolactone, aldactone, 50 mg or 50 mg per tablet. So ito naman, iinumin siya after ng breakfast mo every day. Meaning, sa umaga siya iinumin. And then, yung test sa akin is 3 months of doing that. So 3 months akong iinom ng estradiol ko. Ang follow-up check-up ko po sa endocrinologist ko is after 3 months. So December ako babalik doon. I-check nila yung estradiol kung mataas na at na-reach na talaga ang peak. Kasi after that kasi magme-maintenance ka na lang talaga. So they will be recommending you another medicine, another hormone para at least masustain mo na talaga yung estrogen level mo at yung pagbaba talaga ng testosterone level. May isa pa palang sinabi sa akin yung aking endocrinologist when I was doing the consultation with her. Ang mga injectables talaga is every 2 weeks siya, guys. Hindi siya every week. Okay? Yun ang sinabi niya sa akin. Kasi medyo matapang kasi siya. Now, what will happen if nag-overdose tayo ng estrogen? There is a blood clotting sa mga arteries natin. So, that's a high potential for stroke and cardiovascular yung aatakihin tayo sa puso. So, isa yun sa mga malaking effect kapag nag-overdose tayo ng hormones. Kaya kailangan talaga magpa-check tayo ng endocrinologist natin para alam natin kung anong level na tayo pagdating sa estrogen, pagdating sa testosterone, at para na monitor din natin siya. Maganda talaga na ang hormones natin is bioidentical, which is yung progenon brown, bioidentical woman din siya. Progenon brown is a bioidentical estrogen, so maganda rin siya. Yung pangalawa naman is progenova, yun talaga yung oral na bioidentical hormone. So, parang kagaya lang din siya ng hormones ng mga babae. Ang sabi niya sa akin, lahat ng mga nagme-menopause na mga babae, nagtitake din sila ng HRT para masustain yung estrogen level nila sa katawan nila. Saan ko nga ba nabibili yung aking estrogen and male blocker? Sa Mercury lang siya, guys. May ibibigay kasi sa'yo yung doctor mo na, of course, yung prescription. And this is very important kasi may mga Mercury na hindi sila nagbibigay ng product. Sa Mercury lang siya, guys. It's available. Dito sa Mandaluyong, mabilis ko lang siyang nabili sa Mercury sa Parangka at Mercury sa may Boni MRT Station. Doon ko lang sila nabili. Kaya, magkano nga ba ang aldactone? Ang aldactone is 305 pesos. So, it's 10 tablets. Isang banig lang siya. Makakatipid tayo sa Progenova kasi nga 28 tablet siya. Isang carton na siya. Around mga 650 pesos lang yun. So, sabihin natin in a month, kung susumahin natin yung 28 tablet na pro. I hope na nakatulong itong vlog na ito sa inyo, lalo-lalo na sa mga trans sisters ko dito na gustong mag-transition safely from male to female. To know more about who is my endocrinologist, please message me in my Instagram, in my Facebook. I will reply as soon as I can. So that's it. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Have a safe transition.